Okay. We'll warm up. Right. Easiest. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 4. And over the shoulder. 2, 4, 2, 4. And up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So perfect synchrony there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With a balance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. Switch. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And refresh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Switch. 5. Switch. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And shift. So whatever's been going on with you today, this is the moment where you can let it go, unless it was really good fun, in which case, keep it. Slower, slower. Afternoon, evening even. Okay, now on breath. You didn't have to spotlight now. Okay, and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 4, 5. Hold. And move. Left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Put these together and straighten up. Let the weight from the thighs just come to the floor, and then start to introduce a bit of opening up those hips. One, 2, 4, to the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lastly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so some center, hands over the front, forehead on the ground, and just let your back stretch out. Bring your head forward along the ground as you pass your hands arch up, keeping your hips low. And forward and up. And back. And up. Forward. Goes under. Back. Down the face of the floor. Let your head hang down. Yeah, notice the stretch in your spine and the back of your legs. Relax into it. Lift the hands back to your feet today. And low, keep hands on the feet. Please. Slowly down. Right, so a little bit of it here under. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we go 2 ways. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you do this exercise, ask yourself, are you getting excited? And then in your forward, come into this yin position. Notice the feeling in your knee when you come too far forward. And maybe there's a little, the further you go, the more instability there feels in this. It's not that I can't do it, I just don't feel very stable. And what happens if I bend my leg, but I hope I'm keeping my back straight? Do I lose any stability? For me, no. That's what I want to retain. So make sure that you only go as far forward as you can to keep your back straight. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. If you want to, 1, 2, 1, 2, stop. Okay. So if you were observant, you might have seen there was a little rock in that. So right at the end, we didn't quite finish on the 1. We rocked back a bit. So you go a little bit forward. Your back stay a little straighter. Don't be quite so vigorous and how far forward you curve. So that's pretty straight. As soon as you begin to get that point at an angle, I need you to feed back to me. So here, back straight. Okay, now as that leg bends, what happens to my back? I'm starting to lean. So as soon as I go this past the straight, then I start to lose balance. I'm only a little over, but if you could test me, please. 1 foot high, 1 foot front. I really have high. Yeah, it's very easy to shift me. So I don't need to be shifted much. But if I can just keep this leg straight and chest. Stronger? Stronger. It wasn't perfect, but it's stronger. Okay, so let's get that right. Caitlin, Laura, just 1, 2, 1, 2. Come in a bit so people can see what's going on. Cool. Okay, put it to the front, and then maybe. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Good. Good dog, you're attacking you again, pulling more balance. Fine. Okay. Okay, so the theme of tonight's lesson is going to be connection. Okay. Really, it's quite nice to have a theme. In the end, we're just working the same ideas in, but maybe coming from a different angle. But nearly always it's the same things that are required in order to achieve the goal that we're working on. So what about connection? Where does connection start? Laura? Connection start? Yes. Okay. And your answer? Same? Okay. Joe, what's your answer to connection? Where does connection start?
Starts with me, with myself.
Yeah, okay. And you, Bianca?
It starts with the center, really, the one point.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I kind of like that too. I'm most aligned with what Joe said. It starts with me. And then I'm most aligned with Bianca because I need to find my center in order to connect with myself. So if I'm not centered, my ability to work well with you is going to be limited. Makes sense, doesn't it? Okay. So when have you ever had a good conversation with somebody who's very agitated? It tends not to be the most positive conversation in the world, right? You kind of never make the progress you want. You calm them down before they're able to tell you what went on and be able to help them, right? So it's the same in Aikido. If we start in an agitated sense, or we're not involved in this conversation, so I'm kind of disinterested, that too doesn't work very well. So we need to start by being centered. So we're going to start with a centering exercise, which we haven't done for a little while. So just find a spot in Seiza or sit down in comfort, wherever you are. Just make sure that you're comfortable. You could be lying backwards, I really don't mind, but just a place where you can relax. Now, I'm going to talk you through this, and hopefully this will work for you. Okay, so I just want you to feel the ground underneath your feet, underneath your legs, and your connection with it. And I want you to imagine that slowly the essence of yourself is going to lift itself out of your body and float upwards. So I want you to imagine that you're looking down on yourself on the mat. So as you look down, what do you see? And you're going to begin to go higher and higher. Here we pass through a ceiling. What's the view? Keep going. Seeing in your mind's eye. You feel light, full of energy. You can go anywhere you want, as fast as you want. There are no boundaries in this place. Place of power, choice. You're making those choices as you use your imagination as to what you see right now. In your own good time, I want you to descend. Come back, back to the body. When you arrive in your back in the body, I want you to continue the feeling of power, of choice, of lightness and energy. But to be so aware of your connection with the ground. I want to bring to tonight's lesson is that sense of groundedness with light energy. And another time, just come back to the room. How about you?
I got to do that grounded.
I'm not so good at visualizing. Let me just check in, see how the others did. Joe, Bianca, how was that for you? Did it work? Did you try it?
Very grounding, very good, yeah.
Good, excellent. All right, so hopefully we've got a little bit of our connection with ourselves now to this class. Now we're going to work with somebody else. So the connection starts long before you touch. There's connection now. I'm aware of Laura, but I'm also aware of Caitlin there. My attention's going all around me. If Caitlin were to attack, I would hopefully be aware of that. It's not everything's focused on Laura. Now everything's focused on Laura. I've lost all awareness of her. So there's this softness to this. You're all right, there should be no furrowing of the brows, no tightening of the muscles around your eyes. They need to stay relaxed. And it's like you're looking at somebody with interest, and you should be interested. And you should be interested in everything that's going on around you. And when you're like that, then you pick up all this information. So now in my peripheral vision, she's back. And I lost it before. All right. So we won't start with an attack. We will start with a sense of connection here. Okay. So if I just kind of do this anyhow, I touch skin. There is physical connection, but I'm not really trying to connect with Laura at this point. I'm trying to make her move. I'm trying to make her move. There's no sense of us in this. So to me, that connection is broken. There's still a separateness between them. There's physical connection. There's just no genuine human connection. And we all know that all relationships are about something more than physical touch. At least the good ones are. We can just communicate on a superficial level through the body or through conversation or just anyway, really. But if we want a real connection, we have to use mind, body, heart. We have to bring all of those to the party. So when I touch with interest and curiosity. What's going on with Laura? I'm genuinely trying to feel where she's at right now. And when I do that, then when I move, she wants to stay connected to me. The feeling's good. And it's fun. And there's no effort in making her move. As soon as I put effort in, I cannot do it. But connect, it's like a magnet. You touch her to you become an us. And all of a sudden, we've got a party going on here. Okay, over to you two. Shame you two can't do this virtually together, really. Can you see how
But we can experience this.
Okay, so what's our rule? Who moves first? Yes. Okay, so boom, you connect. And this is like you just The best way to start is not just to be putting your hand there, you've got to engage your brain. So I'm going to task you with the project of feeling what's going on with the ball. So you've got to engage all your senses in the nerves of your fingertips to feel where she's at. And then you bring your intention to this. We're going to go there. And when she goes, then you start feeling. You don't have to go there, by the way. You can go somewhere else if you want to. So what does your curiosity tell you? What's going on with her? Is she connected to you or not? Good. Yes, much better. Very good. When you're moving, continue the party. Take her on a bit of a journey around the dojo. Okay, so still you're going, you want to move first. So remember, curiosity. Am I connected? Do I feel connected? Yeah, I do. Then intention. Where should we go? We're going to go that way. Now we're going to go around. Now we're going to go back this way. Now we're going to go here. And now we're going to go that way. We're going to go here. Where you put your attention, she's trying to stay connected to you, you're trying to stay connected to her. Shut your eyes. Shut your eyes. Let's feel what you feel. Yes, you can do it. I knew you could. It's all in there, Caitlin. It's all in there. Now, Laura's. Well done. Okay, good. Okay, fine. Now we're going to reverse again. So, wash your hands. Again, I connect in the same way. But notice my hands are flat. I'm not clasping onto her wrist. So my job is to follow her intention without ever panicking and seeking to grab hold. If I'm doing a good job, I should look a fairly good mirror image of what Laura's doing. If I start to make weird shapes, that's when I've lost connection. Okay, so this time it's her job to bring the intention to this and decide what direction, but it's still your job to connect to it and to follow it. Okay. Obviously, no fun is to open your eyes. It's much better to shut them. Good. So make good dancing partners. Nice. So, speed it up a bit. You're doing really well, so you can afford to speed it up a bit. Okay, and now reverse it. You get to open your eyes and get it in again. Very good. So this is a nice game to play, but it has some important lessons to teach us. Because when they were doing it, I can't speak for when I was doing it, hopefully this is true. They maintain the relationship between them. and they kept the space. They never really intruded on each other's space. And in Aikido, that's what we want to do. We don't kind of want to get in these places where we're banging into each other. There's always a right space. And that doesn't mean to say you can't get close. There's just always a right thing to do, and feeling where to go, and understanding where the space and the relationship can be maintained is the key to keeping the connection going. Yeah? Okay, so that's the point. We'll just turn this a bit more into Aikido now. So now I'm going to connect into Laura. So I'm extending, I'm feeling where she's at. I'm looking for her center, I'm connecting with the center, and then we're going to move. So I show curiosity. To be curious, there's an energy to that. You have to switch on your brain and all your senses. Okay, so now I'm feeling Laura, I'm feeling the solidity of Laura. Okay, I'm not trying to impose on it, I'm just feeling it there. Okay, now I'm going to connect with that. I'm going to join with it. I'm going to add some intention. And then suddenly we have movement. Whereas if I don't bother to connect with that, yeah, that's the reaction I get. I get a fight going on. So can we try? Yes! Yeah, so if I don't want to go back, I don't want to go back. Take me that way. I expect it's your intention to you know, there's someone's going to try and impose themselves. Back off because they just or just be in their place and not on the ship. Okay, okay, let's have a look at this one. Forward. So, no.
That's right. It's quite subtle. You know when it's like, you know, when you put it like here, or when you're just not quite there yet. Yeah.
Changes, react to something different. Go back in that direction.
Also the direction, the direction. That's what it is.
That's smart. That was easier, wasn't it?
It's too much.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So on this one, you're just saying that thing. But you're doing more.
Yeah, I am.
Just the.
Okay. So, just to make a point, when somebody engages with you as a K, they usually it's one thing. So, if I can borrow you, they're normally bringing their energy to you and trying to impose it in some way. But occasionally, usually from a standing technique, they're actually, I don't want to be here. So their energy is all pulled backwards. And then you'll meet the person who says, ha, move me. I'm not going anywhere. Okay. So it's all about them. And although they're not imposing themselves obviously on you, they are. This is passive aggressive, really. You're not moving, and I'm not going to move either. Okay. And it's up to you, or the partner, or me, if I'm the one that's being grabbed, to feel which type of connection I'm getting and what's the appropriate response. So, okay, this is fairly well set. This is neither in nor out. So we go back to our formal model. I connect with Nick, I feel the solidity, I connect with the center, and away we go. This is a different thing altogether. He really wants to come into my space. Why should I not allow him to come forward? I can. Of course, it might change into something else. But the start is to feel the energy coming towards you. What connection is he giving you? Now, it's a little bit backwards. This is where I can come to his space. Or if I want to come to him, I don't try to push him back, but I allow myself to come to the side. Because actually, if we maintain this relationship going back, we never, well, unless I push him off a cliff, we don't get to solve the problem. That's not the greatest solution. But here, I'm in a place where we're really connected. It's much easier to move with your partner. So, you can grab your partner. It might be a push, it might be a pull, it might be on the shoulder, it might be on the wrist, it might be on the elbow. But the first thing is to connect with it. And the second thing is to find an appropriate response to blend with it. Okay? Good. Let me look at for some reason. So what am I doing? What do you do? Describe what was going on. This is clear, isn't it? Okay. So that's not allowing it to get out. So can you do things within the container which I've created for you? Yes, you can. Absolutely you can. Yes. So your first thing is to recognize the relationship I've created. And appropriate response. You could equally probably turn the other way. But I didn't impose a twist. It's just a crush.
Yeah, you're a bit distant. You're like, you have to
Again.
something else.
Good. Yes, trust your instincts. There's no push, there's no pull. You can test whether that's really neutral. So now, just engage and come in. You hit the brick wall. When you hit the brick wall, you observe it, you don't try to back you away through. That's the place where you need to operate. What have I got?
That's sneaky. You go that direction.
No, I couldn't really do that, but I could do that with the focus on the Excellent, doesn't matter what's shaking. Long before the rest of it, and you feel something.
That's control.
Laura? I don't want to go to Europe.
Yes, please, but I don't want to go first.
Ah, that's not.
It's me who wants to go down. This.
I'm sure it's must be an advantage. Okay, right. Give me your best shot. Really make that. So she's going to hold that very, very firmly. Okay. And try to move that bit of my body. That's the one bit she's really, truly connected to. She seems to want it a lot. So from a relationship terms, I want to let her have it. She can have that. What she hasn't got is the rest of me. She hasn't got the rest of me. I'll just do that from this angle. Okay. So I try not to move the bit that she's got. But I can turn around it, go down, up, whatever. I could come here, and then I could come here. So the thing is, it's great when someone really attaches to you because you know 100% where their mind is. They really want that thing. So the stronger the feeling, the easier it will be to them, as long as you don't panic. Because it is easy to come in, oh my God, she's on my arm, I can't move. No, never have that. And all sorts of things appear. Okay. Yes. Okay. Nick. Another strategy would just be to stand there, because I'm going to get tired before he will.
Was kicking the strings.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time, that's okay. Two-minute pause at the end.
That's right. Yeah. You can feel more coming here. It's not quite enough.
So that relaxed me. You're going to move from there. What happened was, as you came in, you began to put your arm with you, so I ended up following. But if you just step across, okay, now and that way, it's kind of stop. There's nothing to feel.
As long as I don't sacrifice the hand outside of my set,
Yeah.
I might be parallel.
The really good news is while I'm holding this wrist, I can't really do much to hurt you. But I'm so intent on holding that that I don't see dangers of your movements. And I don't see the openings because all my focus is on that one thing. It's a fierce grin.
Yes.
That's better. That's the best choice.
Happy let go completely.
Yeah.
Like keep an active.
Yeah. It felt like you kind of felt that that was much easier way to go.
Yeah.
You're
No
noticing
way
more.
to go back now. Can I go down and then up?
So what am I actually holding?
Well, you're actually, your attention is here.
Yes. Correct. So it can be quite disconcerting.
Yeah.
So I'm holding here this part of his arm, but I'm actually sending my attention to his shoulder. So it can't now move any of the arm. It's not just where I'm holding, I've got to the shoulder now. So he has to move. Well, that's fine. Or you could maybe just hold that and step in. That's a possibility. I don't know if you can rotate around that.
No, I will expose this. Okay.
You have to move your center too, don't you?
He does have to
Yeah,
move
but I cannot move this direction.
It becomes difficult because I'm holding the whole arm.
This
So
is here.
I don't think I can divide it. Yeah,
But you're exposed.
it's difficult, yeah.
The
You can't
exposure is
go
too
that
much.
way.
Too much.
Yeah, so
Oh,
here,
your shoulder, isn't it?
that's fine. So we have to keep our awareness of, yeah, when you try to enter like he did and like I just did, you know this is wrong. You just feel it. You just feel that it's wrong.
Come on, here now.
Yes. I'm holding him by the other shoulder now.
How it goes to the other shoulder, please?
Yeah, you feel it like not only you're locking here, but you're also kind of like almost as if you're being pushed and exit through here. So for me, I can already kind of feel that like it's out towards the right shoulder and down. So maybe I can create a spiral, perhaps just be able to move away from it. So, just directly down, isn't it?
Very good.
It's more of a better.
Okay. All right. What? Okay. So this is all good. Okay, but we want to maintain the same relationship we had. Sorry. When we were just standing here like this, and he wasn't trying to impose himself on my space, but I'm just trying to connect with him. But it's got to the place where he's grabbed my wrist. So he's not really in neutral mode. He's now trying to impose his will in some way on me. Now, am I going to fight against that? Or am I going to keep this nice light airy feeling that we had at the beginning of our practice? So, am I going to let this change my state? Because if I do, he's got control of me, which is exactly what he wants. But if I maintain my state, it becomes very easy to find places that you can go and to do it in a way that is nice and flowy. That wasn't the most flowy. Yeah, but I'm just staying relaxed. So if he wants to push in, that's okay. If he wants to pull, that's okay. I don't panic. I just say, okay, he's pulling, that's fine. Now I can enter. And if he wants to just hold and stop me passing, that's okay too, because I can still come to his side. Oh, if he's down, I can pass now. Yep. So you're going to try that. You're going to hold fairly fiercely, but try to maintain that sense of curiosity, intention to connect, and to feel where he would like to go, or where he would like you to go, because that's where he's going to go. You're going to show him where he wanted to go. Yeah, he wants to come that way. Is it good? Did you like it? Is it a good trick? That's kind of the feeling. You're not trying to impose your will. You're letting him express his will, but keeping yourself safe in the arrangement. Does that make sense? Does it make sense?
Yep.
Good. Perfect. Okay. Come on, Laura. Off we go. Don't put the glass. So, no excuse. Enjoy the connection and all that. Yeah, where I go. Nice. Yes. And you want to force me. Yeah, so if I want to go that way, let me go, fully. You're connected to me. And I want to dance something. Now, we've got us together. I don't really want to get
Opportunities for the
this kind of place.
coming in.
I've got to pick at the moment. Oh, this is us time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I might go blind. That's it. Kind of fun.
It's a bit. It's nice. So she's connected to me, and I'm allowing and receiving that connection. So we're working together now. But we're not really quite at the us moment, but we are now. There. Actually, company there. When you show that. Now, this is the us moment where we come together. Notice how close I am. Not so us. Not so us. Okay, so now I'm going to let her pass a bit beyond it. How us is that? No, not so us. So our timing has to be perfect. Now there's an us moment. Let's say she's just holding me there. So she doesn't want me in, she's not letting me out. We're connected, we are together, but we're not, it's not us. I've got to put myself in her place. Now there's an us moment. If she's pulling me, now there's an us moment. So you're always looking for that place in the movement where actually you can begin to steer. So at the moment, she's the captain. She's deciding the direction of this. Now I'm the captain. I'm deciding. But we've got both our energies together. Make sense? Make sense?
Yes.
Good. Perfect. Off we go, Caitlin. Look for your us moment. Okay, so see the
Not for the
yes. As you find the us moment, I'll be happy running. So, if you're coming forward, I'm not going to try and see how I'm stopping you. I'm going to let you do that. Because that now creates space for me.
Me.
Nice.
yes. Not up, not so high, kind of like on the when you go further, don't go high like this.
So,
Let's take it to steps. Don't see if you can say exaggerate.
there's space between us. Definitely have to go down. Definitely come up. We're stuck here now.
Where's the
Whilst you're going
process?
up and down, you'll end up with sleep. You won't find that moment. Just go round, turn the circle on, and yes, you can do it once. So you could stop back the other way.
Ah, cool. I only want the vacuum. What is it? What did you see? Boom. Yes.
Still need that circumference. So wherever I am on the outside, don't can leave it You're at the edge.
You move, and you just maintain the same height.
It's different
Just
place,
move,
isn't
and
it?
as you move across.
But it's still not in pose with you. And continue the movement. Right.
Yes.
So it's a requirement in this club that you're a dwarf nature. So only little people join the club. Makes it much easier. Have a huge advantage. But I don't, that's my point. You don't have an advantage just because you're taller than somebody. The shape of a movement is all about respecting his boundaries. I cannot enter this space. But what I can do is I can leave it on the outside. That is, it's very hard to resist that. So maybe it looks, because I'm taller than him, oh, it's easy to get over his head. But it doesn't really change if I'm lower than him. I still respect the boundaries. Check. So I still don't try to come in. That's never going to work. I still observe the boundaries. Can you see that? That's really important because you're going to meet people of all sorts of size and shape, and their boundaries will be different. Their arms will be longer, shorter, or whatever. So, did you have a point to make, Joe? Were you trying to say something?
Yes, actually, a couple of ones, but I think maybe later. But just one question for now.
Sure.
If you are trying to do the movement holding his entire hand inside his limits,
Right.
It's more rigid. But when you pick up one finger, it kind of releases the hand and releases the rest of the system. Or was it my impression?
I think the point of the one thing was not because I feel any more freedom, really, but just to show you how easy it is. Now, I literally can do it with this sort of grasp. It's very easy. So I'm quite happy to have the whole hand, but I want to make, and I hope energetically it doesn't feel any different.
No.
So I'm just trying to show you that none of this is to do with physical strength that I'm imposing on him. It's about leading his energy.
Mm-hmm.
That he can follow.
You kind of invite him a little towards you, and then you turn again.
But always, it's a forward, if you like, I'm drawing a forward line. It happens to be going backwards towards him now, but I'm still driving the car forward.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've joined with a line of energy, and I'm leaving it somewhere. Somewhere safe for me, hopefully safe for him too.
Can I make an observation?
Sure.
The reason why it works so easily, because just kind of like just pinching the fingers, is because I'm not just kind of like space where I'm the strongest. I'm actually being drawn slowly forward because my balance is now taken. Yeah. So a mark of a good Aikido guy is like when we take your balance after touch. Yes. So obviously when we do static training, it's because we just want to kind of like get the basics, try to find the simplest movement possible in order to stabilize the person. But in essence, even when it's static, it's all about creating an imbalance in the body of the implant in order to move. Otherwise, they won't be able to move.
Yeah, and if you take it to the next level above that, the real experts have taken your balance before you've even known, before you've touched. Yeah. So they've already lifted you up. So I'm not just making this a physical thing. Different. I'm already lifting before he's arrived. So I've changed the energetic flow from his center. I've connected that, I've lifted it, and I really am touching him very, very gently.
We're not quite connected at this point. Yes.
That was good.
That was good.
Okay. Yes, and you need a nice little to tell you when you're half-ass.
I suppose when you're talking, it's very hard to actually talk and have the attention over there. Yeah.
So, where's the edge here? He doesn't really actually want to have an edge. There is movement, that's good. And I can continue now. Not that I don't try to, he doesn't want to come to me, no, he can have neutral. He doesn't want me to come in, he doesn't want to come this way, so the boundary is here between us. Softer I become, the more it becomes possible. So I think it was kind of an Ikkyo, a Yonkyo, and a Nikkyo.
Nikio, definitely.
Just connect. Just connect. So, just turn that bit, connect. That's imposing. This is continuing. The connection. We go the other way. The connection's here, where my hand meets his arm. That's imposing, impossible to move him. But he's heading down, just follow that direction. Watch his body. Subtle it is. There's a little down movement now. If I push now, I can't do it. But if I just follow that down, so he's determining, he's the one that moves. Oh, I just follow that move. Yes.
I suppose I move first, but you break my balance, and then it's just a matter of following what I'm going.
No, I do. Boom. Wasn't much there. Look at the forward movement.
That's not it.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Yeah. So as soon as you try to impose yourself on some person, you break this lovely connection that we've got. But by welcoming it, lots of possibilities arise. Yeah?
I can also point out, because obviously they won't be able to see what exactly is happening, is I'm always trying to give the same amount of force, regardless of the of where we are in the technique. That's the reason why I'm going down. You know, for example, just letting go and just walking away. Because that's another thing that perhaps if people see that they're just taking a chemi, even a faster one, if people think I'm fake. And I was not fake, I've put myself there because of that force.
Yeah. So as okay, I have to keep my attention on him throughout. Try to find an opening here that I can exploit after my first attack failed. So I don't attack. Oh, no, that's a stupid idea. Well, that's fine, actually. That's the perfect self-defense when you realize you've been stupid and you shouldn't be doing that. But for the sake of good practice, you have to continue with your stupidity. And hope that he's more stupid than you. Oh, no, it was a good line. Right. Okay. Yes. So I think what I'd like to do is here, just have this sense of gentle connection, even though they're holding very hard. Oh, it's easy to do it here. But even if I'm traveling back, that's fine. It's nice, light connection at the place where he's joining with me. Yeah. All right, it's fun really. So,
Carried away a little bit, didn't you?
yes.
That's a good kind of way.
I was pretending I was on a beach in Brazil, say, for example. Okay, so, hey. Where can you go?
Anything.
So here's, it's difficult to make that connection. You can't come up just in between, can you? What you can do is you do that. And you yeah, so how do I catch the point? If I put the arm down, then that limits your possibility. You can go that way, middle. Okay, so you have me.
And then I cried.
You have me that way, so that's where I want to go. Put them up. I say.
Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, you need to work out what's going on and what's possible. Right. That's nice.
Got excited.
A poke in the eye really works pretty well as well. So, perfect. Okay. So my hands are both behind my body. He's got a lot of control of me from here. If I panic, I'm kind of very deadly. Yeah. Without killing me, can you show how deadly I am?
Okay, I'm going to do this.
Ah!
Or just down.
Not good. All right, so we're not really designed to perform very well from this position. Okay, so what do we do about it? I can't bring my hands to my body. So our first rule, what we did tonight was we remembered to connect back within our own bodies first. So to connect with my body and get feel back in balance, step back. Now the whole thing has changed. Very quickly. Very quickly. So go in the direction of the energy. Now we're connected. Very hard for him to do much. I possibly bite me at this point.
And reach the bite.
Can't really kick me very well. And his hands are focused on holding him. If he let go, then I drop him. So it makes sense for him now to hold on a hope. But I've got him.
No problem, help. That's point.
So go back to our first rule, connect with ourselves. Okay, now. Lots of possibilities here. What should we do? Back. As I'm stepping back, I'm also bring this energy forwards. On its own, it's not enough. The two together are pretty effective. If we think about where his intention is now, where would we say it is?
On the hands.
Yes, where he's holding. Definitely, I can tell you all his intention is on pulling me backwards.
And also shoulders, I'm trying the shoulders as well.
Yeah, I can feel it. So I feel like I'm being chicken wings. Yeah, so I'm leading his energy from where he was sending his energy. His connection with me is where I'm trying to touch now, his fingers. So I lead that. So now we're together. It's so easy from here. And we can completely control the situation without the need to hurt really in any way. You know, we can keep him. We don't have to twist his arm off, we don't have to break his wrist. Martially, of course, that's possible, but that's where the martial kind of separates from the Aikido. The Aikido is where we find a place of harmony and we try to maintain the relationship in that place. When he's calmed down, I'll let him go. Seems fair? Okay, so let's try that. Okay. So hold us or we can.
Is that thank you, Quentin?
Yes. Yes, it is.
No.
Sorry.
Yes. No, I can stop that.
I'm gonna stay down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You want to pull your arm, but I can still turn within the container. So I'm not going to step outside
No,
that
it's
circle.
lifted.
It's quite
You can lift your hands,
circles
see
in
the
the
hands. But not the other. Impossible.
in the distance. You can't disconnect from now. You've got a different fight going, a harder fight for me to win. Yeah. Have I got this? How can you stop from doing that? Don't have to do any more. It's so if you've got something about then you'll start to fall there. Just turn and step. Ah, okay.
Well, you like the first, you're saying so there? Nice.
Yes.
Okay, what's fair, you make it enough. That's because the Aikido is not it's like it's a pathology, right?
Just hand it back. What's that? Together with that.
That's it, guys.
So now my hands are in front of me. So
The best go
just that.
quite down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't had the crunch, right? You haven't had the crunch.
Yes.
Apologies. Next time.
If you're expecting to find that fish, that's you to find the other one. But you don't know what you got. You went to look for the hand.
It's like raising the sword in the coming in. Close your in. Basically, kick on one side, then diagonal cut. That is direct. No movement forward. You were asking me again, you didn't move forward. It's like, where is you? Like, you will pay this. I'll have the other side then. Very nice. Good. Yeah, sorry. Yep. Stay too close.
Pretty tough.
The moment you make a step back, no,
It's in the way. If I'm aware of it and I panic about it,
knees this way.
I'm gonna bring my hands to here.
Since you're already here,
You can try and
yeah, and now yes,
stop me.
which I have a feeling I'm actually kind of rotating from the hip, then have to lift me up. It's a rotation. Without the strength. So I should do this, I'm already. You want to experience that? Here. Lift. Here. So. So what's the feeling at this point?
I'm literally just rolling over it.
If I were to force the hip, with the leg, then the more would go. So just like. It's a matter of realize that yeah, you feel that they get just a little punch on the hip, but it never happens.
Yeah.
But it's a good pushing again. The other side.
Smaller the circle, the faster it happens, the more energy.
It's not the pose. Now, if you keep falling, that's what.
When you stop stepping, you have a step, I can feel it. Like, I feel
So you're gonna hold. Wow.
Hey, ho.
Shio-nage.
Yes. Well, initially my mind was to do kotegaeshi, but then I just realized it wasn't going to work and wherever we were at. So I do not try to stop this cut. I help him make it. We do that in slow motion. He goes up, I go up. He goes down, I go down. But he's the one who's lost his balance now. Sorry, let's just start. Yeah. So, slow motion, please. We have our connection. Our centers are linked. They stay linked. We maintain that space we were talking about earlier on. Okay. And then we have the us moment. Not so us. We hope probably feels that straight away. This is the us moment. So we blend energetically. There's an us movement. And there we go. All too often we see this. That's what could result. Okay, so don't do that. That is not a gesture of acceptance. That's a block. You mimic the shape. You just redirect it at the end. You want a butterfly moment. Yep, that's what you're looking for. Looking for a butterfly moment. So actually, if he tries to cut in, it's tough. Just push in. I can hold that up. But I don't hold it out. I just keep myself safe. I let this. I maintain the space away from me. It's extended. But now there's a muscle movement. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, yeah.
Okay, so we'll try that. Okay. Keep a tighter relationship between you. Wow. Here's our asana. So not only tie it together here, down the seam between us, but there's a seam here, a connection here. I don't know how it is. Yeah. So this joins, and this is going down and generating movement at the same time. And I keep the seam tied together until I reach here. Yeah. It will feel different over here. I lost my balance. So try to stay next to your partner, because then you can travel around very quickly before she knows that you're there. Maintain this asana in the final part of the movement. So keep the center. It is not me pulling and tugging. If she keeps her center, you know, you can hang a bell off that and it'll be fine. It's energy down through the system and go down. So I'm still leading her energy in the direction it wanted to go from the final point of connection. Okay, girls. One more, let's take this way. Come down. Okay. So, can you see how you stepped away from it? That creates the center. So now we reach this point. You have choice at this point. So one is crude. The old bubble I made a mistake on this again. I don't find very helpful. Okay, I've created a problem for next one. How am I going to solve it? She doesn't want to go down. So what does that usually mean? She doesn't, yeah, to go up and then go down. Just solve the puzzle. Tell me that's better. Yeah. Okay. So we have the moment here where we've got the us moment. It's really important to decide which foot you're now going to step with. Because if you step with this foot, you've created a problem. In case you didn't realize what I meant by this foot, the one that's next to her. If I step there, I've buggered this. Don't step from that foot. Step from the outside. So in this case, if I want a tight circle, I step back. That she can't. I give her an equalizing moment when I step forward with the inside, so she can neutralize. It becomes tough to bring her back into your center. Yeah. So she's in my center here. Her hands in front of my center. That step Takes it outside of my center, back towards her center, into what I call the place of partnership. Okay. So when I step the leg back, this stays in front of me. Yeah. So in this place, the middle of us is here. So this is the center of us, but it's not the center of the movement. The center of the movement is from my outside leg. She's going to have to move this distance around that place, as long as I keep moving around there. So my movement will be very difficult. She's got to leap around with that. Does that make sense? Okay. Nice. Okay, so that's the one. Keep turning. Yes. Then you don't have that problem of resistance. So you step back again, step back in. That's it, close down. Look down the rear hole. Where does she want to go? Puzzle solved. That's it, nice. So the other thing that tends to happen with Shiranagi is as we get as we kind of get to this place and we're near the end, we think, yes, this is the moment we start to do this here. Okay. And I've stopped, but she's continuing, and then I've got a problem. So don't even out the down until you're here. And then if she wants to carry on forward, she's going to throw herself. Yep. So this is why we step back and so you're looking at her ear. It's all over now, isn't it? Whatever you do decide to do, you can go and you'll fall down, or I can just add a bit more. Yep. So make sure you're looking at your ear hole. Off you go. Good. That's it. You have found her ear hole. Was there anything inside? Could you see through to the other side? Yes. Good. Yes. Very nice. Very good. Well done. Thank you. Okay. So. All right. So she's pushing. That's okay. No, I mean, I don't really want to go back into this position, not unsafe, but she's also out of position. Yep. So if my choice is to try and fight it, I'm telling you, you've got not a lot of chance. So you're best to go with it. And then while she's focusing on that, you can focus on steering it into the place. Or you can stand there. Right, and go.
Connecting again, isn't it?
It is. That's so close. Yes. So. So as I'm going back, that is kind of diverting your energy bit, isn't it? So you try to push now. I can resist you far better than I could when I was just there. So just the act of holding has already changed this.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we don't want is go back. Oh yeah, hands. It's too late now. This has to be going back to connect. So I don't know how we can see, but I'm not trying to hold on to her naturally. But I'm doing this just to show you that it's the connection and the attention that's saving me here. And now I can steer the ship pretty much. more relaxation. That's better. That was more relaxation, so more relaxation. There's more still to come. Yeah, good. Is it getting lighter, Caitlin? Yes, it is. Yes. It looks much better. So here. So if there's any idea in your oh shit, I'm in trouble. You are in trouble. So you just have to go back. But, you know, you're going to encourage this by going back to yourself. Because that's what the intention. So it's actually going to be your choice. It's not an unwilling, oh, maybe I should go back and she's pushing. Then it becomes a struggle. But no. That's your connection. You're feeling what she's doing and you're just yes. Okay. Not bad. Not as good as the first one, but better than the very one. No. Just one other hint. So, when I get to here, you're going to fight this arm. It fight, doesn't it? But it's really large. So if you imagine you're holding a steering wheel, you've done that, and you've done it. So you're very light on the steering wheel. Grip it hard, yank it. That usually tends to lead to disaster. Just hold it very lightly. And just adjust the steering. Yep. Shut up. Put you back in the car. A little bit of butter. I'm going to try it out from afar. So if you don't mind, I'm going to lean across. So come in slowly. Put your hand down. Imagine you push back. So here, if you lean back. Yeah. So come back and forward. So, not that. Can you feel me muscling through you? It's very light. Yes, go on. Yeah, you'll go around the corner. If you turn the steering wheel, it can't go. How is steering? One final one. Okay. Let's just check in online and we'll do that. So, Bianca, Joe, thoughts, comments? Bianca first.
Me first. It's really excellent to see how the connection works even when sitting and being pushed and so on. And all the exercises remind me of the Aikido I'm practicing at the moment, to be honest. So it's quite similar.
Okay. The last bit didn't come through so well. The sound faded and got buzzy. I guess the message I'd like you both to take, if you can, is that what we're doing here on the mat is just a metaphor for how we connect in every other way with people. Right?
Yes.
When we metaphorically attack them verbally, or we get attacked verbally, we you know, our automatic responses are the ones we want to educate out, and we want to have an Aikido response to them to end up with the same sort of smooth, positive get out that solves the problem without people being hurt. Joe, any thoughts?
Yes, relating to that, how important it's to get closer to the attack, to the partner, so we can connect. I also saw the girls doing Shihonage and the hair thing again, and you know, just it's something that that bothers us in the middle of the process. And I remember, at least myself, just it is a time when I stay away from my partner. I'm turning, I'm closer, and then when my hair gets tucked, it's kind of something that makes me step away, and then I need to remember and go back to be closer to become to the us movement.
Yes, the us moment, that's really important. And I've tried different styles of Aikido now, and I think it doesn't work when you don't put yourself in your partner's place.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And this is where I get frustrated on the mat sometimes, I have to say, because this aspect has been neglected by some styles as well. So,
Well, I guess the proof of the pudding is by doing it and showing how it works.
okay.
Hopefully people learn from you rather than you having to dumb down to their level. Yeah, so anyway, I hope that was kind of useful and fun. And it was
Very much.
Yes.
So we'll bow
As
out to you and then we'll bow out more formally. Okay.
Thank you, Quentin. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Caitlin and
Yeah,
Nicole.
thank you, everyone.
It's our pleasure.